pretty boy, James Harden. Ain't that not your boy?
What's good with your team, Tommy? Today we got another Fat Asian video. Pipe Down. That's the name of his channel. That's his name. But we got a Clueless American's Guide to the Premier League. Now we know Man City, Liverpool, Man United, Mo Salah. We know Haaland. We know Ruben Diaz, Bernardo Silva. We know the players and teams of Premier League. Mr. Marcus Rashford, even though he's been a little quiet this year. We're not going to name every single person of every single team. But what we don't know is the history. Now, I'm pretty sure, I mean, obviously, Man United, Liverpool, respectively, I mean, not in all recent years. Cole Palmer is bringing them back, but Chelsea's very popular. Those three teams, though, I feel like almost anywhere you go around the world, people know who those teams are. Obviously, people know Man City nowadays because of Haaland and like Kyle Walker and like how they've been playing and stuff like that. But like, besides that, like, bro, I have no idea about anything about Aston Villa. I have absolutely zero idea about yeah, well, if I have zero idea, how am I gonna know who to tell you guys? You know, because I don't even know the person's name that I'm thinking of or the team's name that I'm thinking of. But let's get into the video, Team Tommy.
Oh, hello there, my fellow American. Currently, our nation is roasting like a pig on a spit. Our government just dropped that UFOs are real, and most importantly, NFL training camp is right around the corner.
Okay,
I can't
okay,
wait.
hold on.
But NFL.
We know UFOs are real because that just means unidentified flying object. So it could be an alien spaceship. It could be a plane that hasn't been identified. It could be a floating ship, bro. Like, a UFO could be absolutely anything, bro. I mean, now granted though, I do believe there's aliens out there. They're aliens to us, but they're people to themselves. You know what I'm saying? They might not be called people, but like, bro, you guys know what I'm saying.
Kickoff is a month away, which means you gotta distract yourself until the start of the season. And what better way than watching the NFL of our weird cousins from across the pond? Yes, talking about the Premier League. The most exciting, the most entertaining, the most competitive. Who am I kidding? Man City's gonna win it again this year.
There's no way Haaland actually did a
They've won
backflip.
5 out of the last 6. Honestly, the Premier League these days feels like the Golden State Warriors era of the NBA. But you never know. Arsenal came out of nowhere last year and looked like they were going to win their first title in 23 years. A young, bright,
Doesn't
lovable
Arsenal tend to
squad
sell the bag?
that played like champions for about 80% of the season, and then Man City ran them down and won it anyway. But that was last season. Now we have a lot of new faces entering the chat. And Man City have actually been weakened a little bit. They've lost a number of key players. All the while their rivals, Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool, have strengthened their major weaknesses.
I didn't know
in this
Mahrez
transfer
was
window.
on Man City.
And we could see one of these teams possibly rise to meet the evil oil empire this year. Is what I would be saying if Man City didn't get Erling Haaland a year ago, a once-in-a-generation prodigy who shattered the single-season goal record in his rookie season in the Premier League and looks to be the next Ronaldo. Yeah, this season kind of looks like a foregone conclusion. I won't lie to you, like the major sports networks will, to try to drive up hype. It's Man City's world, and we're all living in it. But with that said, let me be your guide. Give you a quick Spartan Nose primer on all the new faces and juicy storylines heading into the new season. And by the end of this video, hopefully you'll have a real, solid idea of who will come in second place this year in England. Welcome to the Clueless American's Guide to the Premier League 2023-2024 edition. But first, before I get into it, follow me on TikTok. Yes, I'm starting up a TikTok at @thefatasian_official. And without further ado, let's start it off making our way from the worst teams to the best. And in this section, I'll refer to them as relegation fodder. Yes, let's first talk quickly about the 3 new teams we're welcoming to the Premier League this year. Burnley, Sheffield United, and Luton Town secured promotion to the top flight just a few months ago and will likely be rewarded by being smacked right back down to the championship. And yes, they call their second division the championship. I don't understand, but then again, they put beans on toast. So some shit is just unexplainable.
That's facts, bro. That's
Burnley
facts,
and
bro.
Sheffield United are no strangers to
Oh.
football. They have made frequent 1 to 2 season cameos in England's top flight for over the past decade. But it's Luton Town making all the news, not just because of their meteoric rise to the top of the English pyramid, but more so because their home stadium is a shithole. I mean, just look at this thing. Look at the walk-up in their away end. This is a stadium that can only be rivaled in America by Oakland. And that's saying something. For English fans who don't know, the Oakland A's stadium is so shitty and baseball is so boring that almost no one goes to their games. So much so, in fact,
Really?
last year, a couple was seen high up in the bleachers with no one else around them enjoying themselves. Let's just put it that way. And I honestly cannot say what I would want to see
No, that's OD.
at a professional sporting event. Someone's brick of a backyard or someone bricking their girlfriend. All that said, still rather go to these two than watch a game at Stamford Bridge. I mean, look at this basic ass public library looking at.
Okay, let's be honest. The
Money
front
really
doesn't
can't
look
buy you
that
taste.
bad. That
But
looks
as for
actually
me,
kind of
I'm
cool.
rooting for Luton. And yes, I called your stadium a shithole. But god damn it, it's your shithole. God
Okay,
bless y'all.
that-
Now,
that
for
clip
the teams
looks
that
kinda
finished
like
17th
damn.
through 7th, I'm basically going to skip over all of them, but a few. Because I get it. You're American.
Tottenham.
You ain't got time to get up at 4 a.m. to watch Everton draw Bournemouth 0-0. You want winners. You want excitement. Or at the bare minimum, entertainment. So I'm basically skipping over all the midfield, except for 2 sleeper teams. Honorable mention to Aston Villa, but my 2 sleeper teams for this year are Newcastle and Brighton. Now first up, Newcastle. And honestly, they shouldn't be in this category, because they finished 4th last year. Yeah, they're in the Champions League. But I put them here because for most of my American viewers, the most you guys probably know about Newcastle is either about the beer or you watch the Goal movie. But this humble classic of a club was recently bought out by the Saudis. And all the memes are about them going to buy Messi and Mbappe. But honestly, the investment of this club has been rather modest by oil money standards. Their ascent to the Champions League can actually be mostly attributed to their manager, Eddie Howe, who's just been a mad scientist. The man took a winger/striker and turned him into one of the best combative midfielders in the league last season. He's gotten the most out of forgotten talents.
Did
like
not
Mickey
know he
Almiron
used to
and
play
Callum
striker.
Wilson. But the main reason why they captured a Champions League spot over the likes of Liverpool and Tottenham last year is they win, or more accurately, they don't lose because they have a fortress for a defense. A solid, consistent back line, paired with their new keeper, Nick Pope, created the best defense in the Premier League last year. A defense that is now bolstered with the addition of Sandro
Tonali.
Tonali, who is one of the best defensive midfield prospects to come out of Italy in recent years. A country that prides themselves on their defensive prowess. So it wouldn't
Dude,
shock
so is
me
Newcastle
if their
low-key
defense
gonna end up being
continues here
nasty?
for the season.
They're gonna be
come.
good?
And then going forward, they will highlight the talents of the Swedish Monacan Alexander Isak.
Like in a
It's
couple years.
terrifying to think what this team could become when the Saudis finally do open up their piggy banks. But therein lies the challenge for them this season. How will they do when they have to manage not just higher expectations, but also playing in Europe? Do they weigh themselves thin, fighting on multiple fronts? What we are seeing in Newcastle is the next Man City in their ascendancy arc. They were the great story last year, but as expectations and payrolls begin to rise, it's only a matter of time before they become as maligned as Manchester City. Which is why, for my American friends, I recommend you hop on the bandwagon right now. In fact, it's not even a bandwagon if you get in early enough. Say that you watch Goal The Dream Begins as a
Oh.
kid, and that your favorite player for Newcastle growing up was Santiago Muniz. Do it, bro. And then my other sleeper team is Brighton Hove Albion. If my ball was written
Mitoma.
in modern day and was about a football club, it would be about Brighton, because their scouting department is basically playing Football Manager in real life, using data, algorithms, and all that good stuff to source out the best young talents from around the world, buying them up for pennies and selling them for astronomical sums. Leandro Trossard was picked up for $16 million and flipped to Arsenal for $30 million. World Cup winner Alexander McAllister was bought for $12.5 million. I was recently sold to Liverpool for a fee of $35 million, which could rise as high as $65 million. And Moises Caicedo was bought for a paltry $4.5 million.
Really?
He's now looking like he's going to be sold to Chelsea for $80 million. And what's crazier is the guys that they find to replace these departing stars generally turn out even better. Trossard, leaving midseason, allowed a little-known Japanese player named Kaoru Mitoma to become one of the best wingers.
I did not
in the
know that was
league.
his replacement.
The Japanese international was bought for $2.5 million, and since going full blue lock all over the Prem, his price tag has shot up to the $40 million range. And you know what? They can even do this magic trick with their manager. As after Graham Potter was poached away early in the season, his replacement, Roberto De Zerbi, came in and took the Seagulls to even higher heights than they ever could have imagined. This man was tactically resetting the meta in English football all last year. And even with all these big names departing their squad this summer, you know they already have a treasure trove of 18 to 20-year-olds chomping at the bit to become the next Mitoma, the next McAllister, They
No,
got
that clip
more
is
skilled
crazy.
teenagers on the roster than a Chinese sweatshop, and I have no clue which one of these super teens are going to be the next big thing. They literally pop out of nowhere, and that is the main appeal of following Brighton. If you want the newest, the hottest prospects in world football, Brighton is the team for you. So now, let's move on to the Big Six. These 6 teams have historically been the biggest names in the game for the past 2 decades. Although these first 2 didn't even finish in the top 6 this year. So let's start off with Tottenham, who began last season as a trendy dark horse. Many agreed that they had the best transfer window, and with Antonio Conte at the helm, a proven Premier League winner, it seemed that silverware might not be out of the question. Fast forward a year, and the Spurs brass canned Conte midway through the season, sending his ass back home to Italy. Flying Spirit, their new £60 million striker Richarlison, had 4 more yellow cards for taking off his shirt than he had goals scored, and the only player that showed up for him last year, Harry Kane, might just be fucking off to Germany, and no one could blame him. I hope Harry Kane goes to Bayern Munich. He deserves better. The only reason to stay at Tottenham is so that I can chase down Alan Shearer's all-time Premier League goal record. Something that realistically he could accomplish in 2 seasons. But does this man deserve to suffer the hell on earth that is Tottenham for another 2 years? My man's whole career at Tottenham can be summed up by this image.
So is he only at
Honestly,
Bayern
I'm
Munich
done
right
wasting
now
my time
for like
and
a
your
year?
time talking about Spurs. Instead, just watch these highlights of Harry Kane and Heung-min Son. Let's move on to the other joke of a Big Six club, Chelsea. And oh, what a shit show that first season under new ownership was. Todd Bowley came in having conquered baseball with the LA Dodgers and thought he could do the same in the Prem. He spent the summer cleaning house in the front office and then threw the bag at the window. 600 million pounds on players in a calendar year, enough to make Roman Abramovich's oil money blush. And what did they have to show for it? A complete and utter clown show of a season.
So in football / soccer, if you just have the money, can you just go out and buy whoever you want and they just have to want to come? No Diddy. Like I'm confused if you have to like if there's like specific rules about how many people you can have in like a salary cap. I'm confused if there's a salary cap or if you could just do whatever you feel like doing, and if they have to decide to come, and then like the other like let's say you're doing a transfer. I'm confused about how transfers work too. I can't even lie.
4 different managers, an excess of players that led to $100 million players having to sit on the floor and change in the hallways because there wasn't enough space in the dressing rooms, and a failure to finish in the top half of the league for the first time since 1995. Welcome, truly and all, to the banter era of Chelsea Football Club. Now, logic says it can't get much worse. They just have too much talent on the team to finish in 12th again. And by talent, I mean they have stockpiled a metric Lizzo worth of excellent players on this team, and they've cut the fat.
I know I've told you guys before, I'm a Real Madrid fan, but like, and I know I've told you before, I used to grow up liking Chelsea, and I only liked Barcelona slightly because of Messi, but I'm not a Messi fan anymore, and I'm not a Barcelona fan anymore, so I'm a Real Madrid fan. But like, I still like players on Chelsea. Mudryk, real cool. Midoki, I don't know how to say his name. I like him. Bro, who else do they have? Cole Palmer. Bro, who else is on Chelsea? Do they have Thiago Silva too, don't they? Chelsea team. Nicolas Jackson. Nkaku. I'm not really a fan of Conor Gallagher, can't lie. Not that like I got anything against him, I just don't really care about him. Raheem Sterling, Reece James. Wesley Fofana. How do you say Axel's last name? Disasi? Chilwell is on Chelsea. I'm not a Chelsea fan, so like if you guys are gonna get mad at me for not knowing a team that I don't like I'm not a fan of, so be it. Don't really care. But I mean, bro, their team is, bro, Enzo Fernandez. They have a good team, bro. There's no way. Premier. Let's see. Okay, so this was at the very beginning of this was at the very beginning of what's it called? Whoa. Of the season. I'm pretty sure we're getting towards the end. Number 1 right now, Man City. Number 2, Arsenal. Number 3, Liverpool. Number 4, Aston Villa. Number 5, Tottenham. Number 6 is Newcastle. 7, Man United. 8, West Ham. 9, Chelsea. 10. But I can't lie. Did Burnley change the logo? If you come in last, do you switch with the winner of the... I know West Ham has Watkins. Who else is on? Kudos, Alvarez. Nah, okay, I can't lie. Premier League is stacked. Let's be honest, La Liga, we only have Real, Barcelona, and Atletico. Nah, Premier League is stacked. La Liga standings. Bro, Girona was number 1 for a while until like a month or 2 ago, and now they're just kind of like... Girona got some decent players, bro. Who's on Atletico? Okay. La Liga has good names, but honestly, Premier League has bigger names. But is that just because Premier League gets more clout? Like they have more clout, they get more publicity? Or is Premier League just better? Okay, I can't lie. Once you like get off, well, once you get to rank 7, so once you get to like Valencia and like Real Betis, everybody that's ranked 7th in La Liga and under, they only have like one person or like 2 people that are like that are good or that are popular. Okay. So yeah. Yeah. Once you yeah. La Liga isn't as they don't have as much depth as Premier League. But I do feel like the top 4 teams in La Liga, so Real, Barcelona, Girona, and Atletico, I feel like they could all, bro. They could all compete in the Premier League for sure. Real Madrid would win the Premier League. They would win, honestly, any league. Barcelona, I think that they would make it, and then they would just lose. They would lose in the clutch time. They would lose. They would lose when it counts most. I'm taking Atletico Madrid over Liverpool too. I think that they could beat Liverpool, but I think they would lose to Man City.
From this roster,
But
jettisoning a swath of players who have frankly underperformed for the club ever since the miraculous Champions League win 3 years ago. And for my American viewers, yes, Christian Pulisic is gone. They sent his ass to AC Milan, who are actually a quality side. They have a more than decent chance of winning the Serie A this year. And if you want to watch them, you'll have to subscribe to Paramount Plus. And I would gladly do that than watch Chelsea again this year. Listen, I think they'll do better, but we're talking about a team that would regularly challenge for the league, that just 3 years ago was the best team in Europe. This fall off is near little pump levels. And yes, they hired Mauricio
Little
Pochettino,
pumps fall off
who's
is
long
kinda-
been considered the next
kinda hard.
Jose Mourinho, the
No
next
Diddy.
special one. He was the hottest name in the manager market this summer, and I Couldn't understand why. The man has won nothing. He's got a bunch of second place medals over at Tottenham, and after he got the can there, he led PSG, a side featuring Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe, to second place in the French league. The man.
So is he the reason they were losing?
League.
I don't know,
Paris was bested by Lille. He had 3 of the best players on the planet, and I'll bet you right now, 90% of these people watching this couldn't name 3 players on Lille. And yet, this man keeps failing upwards, and I'm supposed to think he's the one who's going to right the ship at Chelsea?
Well,
Okay.
Chelsea's rated pretty
But hey,
low, or ranked
man's
pretty
a
low.
second place specialist. And for many Chelsea fans, they would gladly take second place in the league than finishing 12th once again. Now let's move on to my beloved Manchester United, who, after suffering their worst season in Premier League
Dude,
history,
Man United has some of the craziest players on their team, and they just sell the bag. Oh my gosh. Dude, I've watched them just play like doo-doo. And they have a good team, bro. Their team is good, bro. They just lose.
Third place finish in the league. But how will they follow such a rejuvenating season? Well, first off, they bought Mason Mount, a perpetual underperformer for a Chelsea club that finished 12th last year.
It's kind of doo-doo.
Yeah, I'm confused why we bought him too. Then they got rid of their all-time clean sheet holder and arguably their second best keeper in their history, David De Gea, and replaced him with a Rihanna song.
Oh, no, it's not that bad. Come on, bro.
Across the ticker that they have signed a 20-year-old Denmark striker who can only be described as Walmart Holland. Yeah, even if it's poisoned, sounds like
No,
Kirkland
that's messed
Holland.
up. That's
Now on
messed
paper,
up.
Kirkland Brand
He's
Holland
not bad.
is somewhat similar to his Norwegian counterpart. Both are blazing fast Vikings, clocking sub 1100 meters, which basically for my NFL fans is close to 4.
Whoa,
Both
subs!
are strong and tall motherfuckers. Holland coming at 6'4", Rasmus is 6'3", but beyond.
No, hold on. How fast are these people? Bro, he's lying, bro. There's no way they're running sub 11s, bro. Cat, bro. There's no way majority of them are running under 11, bro. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way, bro. What is it? What is this? He's not on the Chiefs anymore. They're saying Holland is almost as fast as Tyreek Hill. I don't know about that, bro. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that, bro. There's no way, bro. There's no way, bro. Bro. The fuck? You telling me Kylian Mbappe is faster than Tyreek Hill? Dude. Bro. Why aren't they running track, bro? If these dudes are this fast, bro, why are they not, bro? I watch France and I watch people from Europe just lose in the 100-meter dash. And you're trying to tell me that all of these people are faster than our people. Oh my gosh, bro. I just don't think people in the Premier League and La Liga are faster than people. Oh, okay, this just has to be cap, bro. This is different than running with pads on, but bro, come on, dog. Come on, dog. Like, of course, there's gonna be a couple, but like, bro, almost everybody that I'm listing, bro, they're just saying that these dudes are running faster than. Let me look at what you guys have been doing in Europe. Woo! I don't see a European country, bro. Oh, this, bro, we want. Oh, that's date of birth. There's okay, 40th. So we're looking at worlds until we don't see France until the 40th. And you're trying to tell me no England. What is you guys Britain? If I want to look at like the English. So you're telling me the people on the pitch are just as fast as you guys as track stars? Damn. Slow. But I would have been a crazy athlete if I lived in Puerto Rico. But what happened to Jamaica? Jamaica low-key fell off. Jamaica fell off. Oh, they tied? Hmm. I don't know, Team Tommy. I don't know about that one. I don't know
On
about
these
that.
physical measurables, the gap in their skill is the size of the Atlantic Ocean. Holland proved himself a goal machine for Borussia Dortmund for years, before coming to the Premier League last year, just shitting on everyone's chest. Hoyland didn't even hit double digits in the Serie A last year, despite 32 appearances. So why did Man United buy him? Well, the underlying metrics say that he does what Man United strikers couldn't last season, which was finish chances you'd expect them to. Yeah, Man United didn't score all too much last year, but apparently he has all the ingredients to become an ideal striker in Ten Hag's system. But make no mistake about it, it's going to take a couple of years for this ball of clay to take shape. So my prayers are that the fans and the press give him the time to develop it. But my prediction is it's going to be tough on the kid because he's not even the same level of prospect as Darwin Núñez, who was constantly measured up against Holland last year.
How old is Darwin Núñez? I thought he was kind of like not old,
so
but like older.
Fans, you need to stay patient, very, very patient with Walmart Holland. But I am quite excited about their other signing, Andre Onana. Ten Hag is quite familiar with Onana from the time over at Ajax, and Onana made a name for himself last year by helming an Inter Milan team that made a surprise Champions League final appearance. And while, as you would expect, his shot stopping is top class, that's not the main reason why Ten Hag replaced David De Gea with
You look, he got some trickster to
David
him.
De Gea, while being one of the best shot stoppers in modern history, has always had one glaring weakness. The man can't pass for shit. And his long-range distribution, forget about it. You might as well hand it back to the other team. And unfortunately for De Gea, modern football has evolved to where keepers like Ederson and Alisson are integral to building up attacks and maintaining possession. And Onana is in that same mold. Not only is he flashy with
He's
the ball
good,
at his
bro.
feet, he might be the best in the world at long ball distribution, as he
Really?
ranked number 1 last year in the Champions League for passes completed by keeper over 35 yards. It might seem like a trivial stat to focus on, but as the saying goes, you're only as strong as your weakest link. And that lack
Well,
of
if you
distribution
can
from
start
the
a run off
position
your
last year
goalkeeper
was a
kicking it out of
major
the box,
weakness
that's kind
that
of crazy.
actually limited Ten Hag's options tactically. It's something that might go unnoticed, but I'm predicting that this change in personnel will win games for Manchester United this year. Now, will they improve from the third place finish from a year ago?
Sancho.
Probably not. I don't see where the goals are going to come from, beyond Rashford. And then there's the issue of ownership. The Glazers have dragged their feet on selling the club, and you can see that it's hampered them in the transfer window this summer. If the Qataris had sewn up and bought the club, I could have easily been talking about Harry Kane walking through the doors. But alas, they had to settle for a developmental prospect in Hoyland. Still, I think things.
I mean,
are
maybe
generally
he,
on the
maybe
up.
Fat Asian can see the
This year's
future.
Comfortable finish in the top 4. All right, next on the list is Liverpool, and this is not to Liverpool.
Hold on, before he talks about
that monster
Liverpool,
of a squad, those scrum teams by
bruh, the only people scoring for Man United are Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes. Nobody else is scoring. But Onana is good, bro. He's a good goalkeeper. But like, yeah.
and choke slamming them through the floor. That's not him anymore. In fact, half that team that won the Champions League and the Premier League are gone. Sadio Mane, Roberto Firmino, Ox, Jordan Henderson, Fabinho, super sub Divock Origi, all gone. And
So
all
they
of a
used to
sudden,
be stacked.
It's a rebuild. And old Kloppy is trusting in youth and a revamped midfield to solve all of Liverpool's problems. Now, I can't get too hard on him because injuries were the main reason why Liverpool was hamstrung for the first half of last year. And once they got healthy, we caught a glimpse of that beast from 2 seasons ago. In fact, they finished the season sensationally, going undefeated for the final third of the season, including a 6-game unbeaten streak. A win streak that nearly catapulted them from languishing mid-table to nearly...
Liverpool's weird, bro.
And simply, Jurgen Klopp...
Win some,
is too
lose
good
some.
of a
That's
manager
their
for them to
motto.
have back-to-back disappointing seasons. And they have retooled the biggest problem from last year, their midfield. Last season was a nightmare in their engine room, with players being either old or hurt, or too young and under-seasoned to hold the spine of the team together. And from there,
Elliott's done
everything
pretty
else
good this
kinda fell
season.
apart. So this summer, Liverpool went out
Dude,
But
McAllister's
Ultra
definitely,
Daily,
he's nice,
two
bro.
young midfield talents. First to the door was Alexis McAllister. The Argentine was another relatively unknown Brighton talent who came to the forefront as arguably Argentina's second best player in the World Cup run, and of course was magnificent for Brighton all year long, having an eye for goals, scoring 10 last year in the Premier League. The man with the toothy smile plays an attacking midfield role. And what is he good at? Well, he's kind of good at everything. Hyper resistant. He rarely gives the
Nah,
ball
but
away,
he's actually
being
good.
a decent passer of the ball, as you would
I
say
like him.
from a midfielder. He's
No
fearful,
Diddy.
he's magnificent, rarely out of position, and as I mentioned before, can pop up for a goal or two. The only weakness in his game I could find is that he isn't the most creative player. In fact, his assists are kind of low for someone with his passing quality, only grabbing 2 assists last year at Brighton. And creating
Really?
chances was a major issue for Liverpool last season, which is why the other midfielder that they bought specializes in just that. In fact, this 22-year-old have some people labeling him as the Hungarian Kevin De Bruyne. Now I'm going to butcher his name, but Dominik Szoboszlai is a cam coming from another talent factory out of Germany. RB Leipzig, like Brighton, have an extensive scouting network and a reputation for snatching up all the best young starlets from across the planet and incubating them in arguably the most youngster-friendly league in the world. And Szoboszlai is the next big thing off their production line. The Hungarian play inside or outside as an attacking midfielder, having the pace and dribbling ability to beat a man on the wing, while also possessing the.
So I feel like every single clip of him, bro, he's trying to thirst
What
trap.
will make him a fan favorite at Liverpool is that this dude has a fucking op for a leg. His long-range shooting is something that Liverpool fans will unfairly compare him to club legend Steven Gerrard. Plus, he's taking the number 8 shirt, so he's kind of asking for it.
Dude, Gerard is like,
Could
ow.
destroy many young players. But Dominik seems like he's built different. At the age of 22, he was already unanimously named captain of the Hungarian national team, which speaks to his maturity and leadership. And talk about keeping cool under pressure. Apparently, there's a story that during the Champions League, when RB Leipzig won a penalty up against PSG, Neymar walked up to Szoboszlai, who's RB Leipzig's penalty taker, and cheekily asked him if he was going to score. Szoboszlai responded, "Yeah, I always score." So he's not lacking for confidence. And this is all before I get to what he's best at. My man is a free kick specialist. His dead ball delivery is ridiculous. And frankly, it's going to be an utter nightmare for any keeper next season when Liverpool wins the ball within 30
Oh,
yards
wow.
of the net. Because you got to remember, they already have a world-class free kick taker in Trent Alexander-Arnold. Szoboszlai's free kicking ability is right there. And then you got McAllister, who actually scored a couple of free kicks for Brighton last year. So every time Liverpool wins a free kick, every keeper is going to have to worry about 3 separate angles. And that's not to mention all the different run-up routines that they can perform. It's going to be fun to watch them. Of all the new faces coming into the Premier League, I am most curious to see how Szoboszlai plays. And that is saying a lot because I'm a Man United fan. I should hate him. But this man's game could be
Bro, I'm telling you, he's always trying to thirst
Given
trap.
He played in a system that was modeled after Klopp's tactics from his time in the Bundesliga. He should be a perfect fit. Now still, I don't want to overhype him. He's 22 and he's not quite the fully finished product yet. He still needs a little bit of polish. But if I know sports fans, all it's going to take is for him to hit one 35-yard fucking screamer into the top corner of the net, and Liverpool fans are going to fall instantly in love with this kid. You combine him with another year of Darwin Núñez and Cody Gakpo, maturing, demonstrating why
Darwin
they're
Núñez
rated
kinda
as
cut.
2 of the best young attackers on the planet right now. And you get a healthy David Luiz back, and Liverpool are going to be a shit ton of fun to watch this year, at least on the attack. And honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if Liverpool hop right back into the top 4. Or even, if I'm being bold, finish second in the league this year. Now, I'm not exactly bullish on that, because the biggest question with them wasn't really improving this summer, and that's their defense. Specifically, their defensive midfield. Their defense as a whole was a huge question for them last season, and they haven't done much in the transfer window to really help that. They're basically going to rely on some youngsters to fill in that spot, and hopefully they can hold up, but if they don't, that's what's going to keep them from reaching top 4 or top 2. Combine that with the fact that this is a very young squad who haven't played much football together, and it could take a while for them to gel. But if anyone can make a young squad work, and work quickly, it's Klopp. It was a shit season for Liverpool in 2023, but in 2024, I'm thinking they're back. And with that, let's talk about Arsenal. They were the team of the season last year until they weren't. How do you follow up a year where you bottle away the league like Arsenal did? Because for guys who don't know, long story short, Arsenal blossomed too quickly last year. They fielded the youngest team in the Prem, and the first team matured into a juggernaut early on in the year, but lacked the stamina and depth to close it out. When injuries and fatigue hit the first team late in the season, they faded like cotton candy.
But I don't know if
in water.
they deserve to be
Now,
ranked
there
number
was
2
good
right
concept
now,
that
but
they
they
could
are.
win the league. Their owner Stan Kroenke pulled out the checkbook and brought in some reinforcements. On defense, they brought in Jurriën Timber, who's touted as one of the best young fullback in the world right now. Comes from an Ajax team renowned for their youth development. Then they grabbed Kai Havertz from London rivals Chelsea. And
Kai Havertz is good.
sound as sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. And I honestly don't know what Arteta sees in him, but given him the benefit of the doubt, he was played out of position for most of his time at Chelsea. He's not a natural striker, and if he's slotted into his more natural, creative attacking midfield role, I could see it bearing fruit. Another big issue for them last year was they got very little production out of their subs. So recalling Nicolas Pepe alongside American Folarin Balogun will definitely help out the legs of Martinelli and Saka this year. For our American viewers, keep an eye on Folarin. Just last year, he declared for
Dude,
the US
Saka's a
national team,
bag seller,
and
bro.
he had a fantastic season in the French league, scoring 21 goals. And his underlying metrics have some in England thinking that he could possibly one day be a $100 million striker. Now, this is all potential, so don't get your hopes too high up, but someone to keep an eye on, especially with us hosting the next World Cup. But all this is just window dressing, because the biggest headline was reserved for the most expensive English signing in history. Declan Rice was wanted by all the big clubs, and now he's Arsenal's. He is a central defensive midfielder and a world-class ball winner. But what makes him dynamic is that he can take the ball off a striker and start a counter all by himself. Because what makes him different from most CDMs out there is this motherfucker can dribble. And not just dribble a little bit, he can carry the ball up the field like a winger. For my American viewers, he's the Draymond Green of the Premier League, getting a defensive stop and then leading the break on the other side. And on top of that, if this man was playing in Madden, his awareness would be 99. He's always in the right position. And if
Really?
they lose possession high up the pitch, you know he's going to be right there pressing, helping to win the ball back. And even in build-up play, he's got a world-class switch. He seems like a perfect fit for Arteta's Arsenal. Now is he worth $105 million, the highest sum that any team in the world has paid in this transfer.
So how is he a CDM then? Wouldn't he be just a regular center mid?
When the player's English, especially in the Prem. And the simple fact that they kept him from going to rivals like Liverpool, who desperately need a CDM, and even Man City, has been a pretty.
Wouldn't he just be a CM, but like he just plays CDM?
For the last decade or two. Is this enough to push them over the top and actually win the league and make progress this year? We'll
Odegaard.
see. It's very curious what Arsenal will do this year because it is a crucial season. Make no doubt about it.
Martinelli.
This season for Arsenal could
Do they
define
do? They have
the
a
next
stacked
year.
team.
Were they just a flash in a pan last year?
Gabriel
Or
Jesus.
was that just the beginning of something special? That maybe, just maybe, we are seeing the next generational.
Dude, Saka's a
of
bag
the Premier
seller.
League. And if players like Odegaard, Saka, Saliba, and Martinelli can continue to improve, well, both
I didn't know
all the trade
Saliba was
they
their
might be
center
the only team capable of challenging
center back.
Manchester City for the title this year. And I hope they do it. I just wouldn't bet on it. My name is Manchester City. Look upon my works, ye mighty, and despair. 3 times Premier League champions, 5 out of the last 6 titles. The unquestioned GOAT, Pep Guardiola at manager, and a 22-year-old Erling Haaland, who just had the best season that a player has ever had in the entire history of the Premier League. How do you improve upon perfection? How do you stay motivated after winning a treble? Because the Champions League was the only trophy they were missing in their cabinet. So the only goal left? Well, 4 teams in history have won 3 Premier League titles in a row. None have ever won 4 in a row. Can this team, that was a footnote in English football history for most of their existence, become the greatest dynasty the country has ever seen?
Dude, I didn't realize
Most
how
likely,
big
yes.
Akanji is.
Complacency will be their biggest enemy this season. But with Pep being a master of motivation, I don't think it'll be an issue. He'll have the squad's heads right. Although their job might be a little bit more difficult this year, they did lose their late season Zidane in Ilyan Gundogan, who will be departing for Barcelona.
Gundogan.
And then they sold off Riyad Mahrez to the Saudi League, another strong rotational piece in the lineup. But crucially, they were able to convince a homesick Bernardo Silva to stay, a masterful, clever little player that was preferred to Mahrez in many crucial games down the stretch. And you could argue
Yeah, he's been clutch for him this year.
and having them get past Real Madrid last season in the Champions League. And even though they lost
They
control, they picked
he
up
scored in the
veteran
first scored in the
Thiago
first
Silva,
minute, bro,
who I
against
feel
Real this
Pep
year,
is just
bro.
gonna turn into the next
In the first
Ilya
leg.
Gundogan. 'Cause that's
They play again
what happens
today.
at Manchester City. Every time a
Inshallah.
crucial player leaves, they just get a better version of them. David Silva out the door, KDB in the door. Fernandinho out the door, Rodri in the door. Sergio Aguero out the door, Erling fucking Haaland in the door. These motherfuckers just don't miss. And now, the rich are just getting richer because they just signed maybe the best young defender in the world, in Josko Gvardiol. But 90 million euros for a 21-year-old. And he might be worth every fucking penny because he just wasn't the best young defender at the World Cup. He might have been the best defender, period, at that tournament and was a major reason why Croatia returned to the semifinals. And it only makes sense that now that Man City have the next generational attacker on the roster, that they go out and grab maybe the next generational defender to be in the squad, to grow and mature alongside Erling Haaland. And what's gross is they don't even need him. They don't have to throw him in right away. There's going to be zero pressure on him.
Oh, he starts. He's playing.
For the entire season.
He plays
More
for him.
likely They're just going to ease him into the rotation. And thus is the luxury of Man City. With
Okay.
helm and oil money in their coffers, you can make nearly any player bend to your will. And for my new American fans, if you want to guarantee that you will wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning and you'll watch your team just beat the brakes off another, well, Man City is the team.
Yeah, them boys
You know, a bunch
win.
of Europeans and fans throughout Asia became Warriors fans during their dynasty run. Well, now is your time to return the favor. Indulge. Be Man City fans. The oil empire is here, and it's going nowhere anytime soon. The only thing that could possibly stop them is other oil money, because Saudis bought Newcastle, and the Qataris are looking like they might buy Man United, and that's the only roadblocks I could possibly see.
Dude, the
yeah,
Man United gets bought,
115
GG's.
Financial fair play charges that were brought up against them last year, but I'm sure they could pay off those judges like they paid off every judge before. They are, and pardon the pun, a well-oiled machine, pristinely crafted in a hyperbaric chamber by a meticulous master using only the finest materials found on planet Earth. From player management to positional adaptation to dance moves, Pep Guardiola just seems a step ahead of his competition on every level. And my only prayer against another 10 years of Man City dominance is that Pep gets burnt out like he did at Barcelona after he wins his 4th title this year and maybe takes a sabbatical. They literally need to suffer from success so hard that they get bored. Now don't get me wrong, there will be rivals that will provide them a sporting challenge. Eric Ten Hag might cook up a surprise here and there. Klopp's revamped Liverpool will undoubtedly dazzle this season. And then there's Pep's protege, Mikel Arteta, who almost had his number last year, and is returning with maybe the best young squad in the league. But none will outshine the master, at least not this year. While all three are a threat, none of them are perfect, like Man City. All
Bro,
three
is
of
Phil
these
Foden actually that
Manchester
good, bro?
United, Arsenal.
I mean, I know
lack the
he's
depth
not
and
bad,
experience to
obviously.
withstand the brutal
But, like,
marathon
people kinda, like-
of the season. Just the
I
attrition.
don't know. I feel like they
of
put
this
him
league
on
will
kind
cause
of
these
a
three
big,
contenders
a
to
big
fade,
high
while
pedestal.
Pep will keep his troops fresh and rotated throughout the year. And the embarrassment of quality in his second team will make them pretty much impervious to all these types of dips and potholes down the stretch. That is how they have run everyone down over the past 3 years. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And what summed up last year, for me, was Mikel Arteta was named Manager of the Month 4 times last season. And you know how many times Pep Guardiola was named Manager of the Month last season? 0. But you know who was named Manager of the Season? Yep, Pep Guardiola. And I hope I'm wrong, but it feels all but inevitable, which is why,
I mean, their team
for
is
my filthy
stacked.
casual bandwagon American fans, I'm telling you, become the equivalent the Warriors fans of the Premier League. No one will blame you or guilt you. And if you meet another Prem fan in America, trust me, I've spoken with Man City fans in America. I'm just happy that I'm talking to someone else about the Prem. Most Americans choose their teams based off of FIFA anyway. Who cares? So for you, just enjoy waking up. And
Yo,
being
that's
entertained
facts.
every
That's
Saturday
facts.
And Wednesday this year. And if you're lucky, you'll
That's
witness a bit of
facts, bro.
history.
When I was
And that-
listen,
It's pretty much gonna be my guide.
thank you, Fat Asian, bro. When I was salty about Messi and learning about Barcelona, and I was like, damn, like I can't be a Barcelona fan anymore. When I was learning about that, bro, I had so many Real Madrid fans on my FIFA, on my ultimate team. I said, fuck you. Stuck for life. I shouldn't be cussing, but I said, bro, I'm a Real fan, bro. Oh well, I know the players' names, but I can't lie. I loved Brahim, even though he was very low rated. Brahim and Rodrigo, bro, they made I can't lie, Bellingham, obviously because he's Bellingham, but this is before he was like as popular as he is. This is before he even won a Player of the Month. I was like, yeah, bro, let me just go ahead and be a Real fan, bro. And it was kind of in spite of Messi, and I knew Ronaldo used to play for Real. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, Team Tommy. We learned a good bit. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Make smart decisions. Make good decisions. Hope you have a nice meal. If you don't have a meal, inshallah, you'll get one soon. I don't have enough money to like donate. But if I end up like blowing up or anything, bro, if somebody's out there that you guys can't afford a meal or something like that, bro, just hit me up. Obviously, you can't hit me up now because I'm not. I don't have that money right now. I'm worried about my own bills. But when that time comes, inshallah, we'll connect and I'll buy you a nice dinner. Have a great rest of your day, Team Tommy. Love, peace, and chicken grease.